this year presented another cage
Bacon.
for Andy. Well, here we go.
Oh, the puppy. The puppy. Kind of inspired me to do this video, which is kind of the beginner gains or the noob gains idea. So, if you've been looking for a while, you already know what the deal is. But if you're new to the gym, if you're new to resistance training, and it's something that you have not done yet, your first 6 months to a year at the gym are going to be the most productive that you will ever have. And I will tell you why. So, when you first start at the gym, those first couple months, you are actually learning how to use your muscles properly. So your body, your brain is learning how to recruit those muscle fibers more efficiently, how to recruit the larger muscle fibers more quickly, so on and so forth. So it's learning those movement patterns and what we call the motor unit recruitment, right? So it's learning how to use the muscles better. That is why you see, or can see, such a drastic increase in strength. What you can lift, what you feel comfortable with, what you're able to do when you first start working out. You're learning how to do the movements, so you're becoming better at the movement. It actually really doesn't have much of anything to do with your muscles actually becoming stronger. You're just sort of learning how to utilize them better. Even so, after that happens, your body begins to, adapt after that. So normally I say it's probably about a month or two is what it takes to do the neuromuscular, or for your body to learn the movements correctly. After that, you start actually building muscle, right? So this is what most people are after. If your concern is fat loss, then you should also be concerned with building muscle. Why? Well, muscle burns calories, right? So not only is it dense, it is metabolically expensive, which means the more muscle you have, the more calories that you will burn throughout the day. Whereas fat tissue is pretty much just sits there and does nothing, right? It doesn't take a lot of calories to maintain that fat mass. Whereas muscle mass, it takes more calories to maintain. It's an active tissue. So, if your goal is to lose fat, notice not lose weight. If your goal is to lose fat, you should also be concerned with building muscle. That being said, if you are a natural athlete, beyond the first year or two, it is extremely difficult to build muscle. I have been lifting weights for about 3 years now, like actually with a structured program, knowing what I'm doing, or having some sort of idea what I'm doing. I'm just now starting to get to the point where I feel like I sort of look like I lift. A lot of people have this feeling, but what we tend to have in our mind is not a natural physique in the first place. Ladies, especially with the fact that you have less testosterone running through your system than men, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to get huge and manly looking. Especially if you are doing cardio as well. So if you have cardio in your regimen and it's a consistent thing, say you like running marathons, for example, or you like biking a lot, well, that stimulus is going to demand that your muscles stay more aerobic anyways, or at least semi-aerobic, right? So, since type 2 fibers, or the resistance training fibers, are the ones that we think of growing and, having that hypertrophy or big muscle tone, whatever you want to call it, then, those things are going to help mitigate that as well. But, all that being said, what are the 3 things that I think, in my opinion, are the most important when it comes to getting into the gym and really making your beginner gains or your noob gains, to really maximize those? First and foremost, number 1, safety, okay? Nothing will set you back like an injury, especially if it's a knee injury, if it's a lower back injury. You can have minor injuries and still continue to work through those. There's always little sprains and, you know, sorenesses and things that are happening that you'll find as you've trained longer and longer. However, lifting safely should be your number one concern, especially if you are in the gym and working out and trying to get to a place where I want to maintain a healthy lifestyle, a healthy weight, and continue to do this throughout the rest of my life so that I can, you know, continue to be independent as I age, not have to worry about heart attacks and strokes and some of the other things that can become issues. Safety, you know, safety. A lot of people have orthopedic issues that keep them from doing certain things. It makes it more difficult. So if we can prevent ourselves from creating those orthopedic issues or injuries, then that's should be our number one first and foremost, right? Awesome. So, number two, consistency. So and keep in mind, you don't have to go balls to the wall straight out. You want to slowly increase your frequency that you hit the gym, the amount of time that you spend into the gym, the intensity of your workouts, right? So, and you want to progress your volume over time, right? So when you progress these too fast, too quickly, one, it's unsafe. You increase your likelihood for injury. Two, you also make it more difficult on yourself in the long run when those noob gains start wearing out and it becomes a constant grind to increase those and to still get favorable, you know, to make your body adapt and to grow. So, consistency, though, however, is number one. You know, to be consistent on what you're doing. Your body does not adapt to a one-time stimulus. If I go to the gym one time a month, it's not going to do me any good. Consistency. If you're starting off at 1 day a week or 2 days a week, be consistent with your 1 and 2 days a week. Make it a priority, right? When you see that that starts to slow down, well, then you can increase the amount of time you're at the gym, or you can split it up. Say 1 day is not going to be a lower body, 1 day is going to be an upper body. These sort of things, right? Or you can add a day, or you can start adding more weight. So all these are, you know, factors that you can play around with within that consistency, but that still is a key, because unless you're having a consistent stimulus for your body to adapt, it's not going to do it. And building muscle, increasing metabolic rate, these are all adaptations. So there has to be a continual stimulus for that. Number three, and it's really, that's kind of my main three to try and make it easy, is your diet. Consistency also goes into the diet. To be consistently eating about the same amount of calories that, you know, possibly doing a refeed once or twice a week if you're in a deficit, you know, where you lower your protein and your fats a little bit and add some into your carbs. Things like that. So there are different things that you can do depending on what your exact goals are. But for most people, if you have been maintaining your weight and you add going to the gym, you should see weight loss because you are adding to your calorie expenditure. So not only are you expending more calories at the gym while you're exercising, you're expending more calories to rebuild those muscles, right? To repair the damage that you've done, because it is microscopic tears, you know, that we do to our muscles. That's the damage. So it takes calories to repair that. It takes calories to strengthen them so that, you know, they can adapt, right? So we want to be consistent with that, so that we can continue to build. Most people will find themselves losing fat if all they do is keep their diet the same, given that they were maintaining their weight, and add in more exercise. Okay? Easy. So, things that probably should not be a priority for you. The professional bodybuilder workouts that you see on certain websites and media. These are not meant for you. They're more advanced workouts, and it's probably going to be more than you need to do, and once again, increases your risk of injury. Supplements. With the exception of creatine monohydrate and possibly protein powders to help increase your protein intake so that you can meet what you need to be getting for your goals, you know, there's not a lot, you know, supplements are not going to make or break your progress, especially if you're just starting out. They make a very small difference even for people who have been going for a while. I'm not saying don't go buy supplements. There are lots of good supplements out there, but understand that they are not going to make a drastic difference. I myself, whey protein, branched chain amino acids, creatine monohydrate, and pre-workout when I feel like it, you know, which some days can just be coffee. And that's really it. I'm cheap, brah. So another thing that shouldn't be a priority, trying to impress everybody else in the gym. Don't try to do too much, you know. You don't need to worry about what everybody else is thinking. You don't need to feel like you have to be benching 225. You don't have to feel like you should be squatting, 300 pounds. These things don't matter. Not to mention, everybody has different biomechanics, their levers. Everybody's genetics are different. So certain people might not have the same genetic potential that other people have. Or it might not just be as easy for them, So take your time. Don't worry about who you're impressing, because nothing is more embarrassing than getting yourself hurt or having to have somebody come and bring the bar off you and save your ass, right? Yeah. Those things in mind, if you're getting into the gym, you're starting up, enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Find things that you like to do, because one thing that's going to help you to make this a lifelong thing is finding things that you enjoy. You're not going to do it if you hate it, so you can't expect yourself to continue doing something that you don't enjoy. It's the same with the cardio, it's the same with the resistance training, it's the same with the sports, and it goes to anything in life. Just like diet. If you can't see yourself doing it in 6 months, then you're probably on the wrong diet. Goes for your workout plan as well. Okay? Find things that you enjoy, embrace those things, make them a staple, and make them consistent. Should be on your way to having a good spot to continue to work from when it comes to reaching fitness goals. So I know today was very basic, very beginner oriented. I will continue to try and bring out relevant content and try to get some interesting topics coming up. I've been writing again for my protein, so hopefully I can also just do some videos that cross over, talking about some of the articles that I've written for the website as well. Anyways, until next time, Steve Bogran, Basic Fitness. Bye!